staying with us. At least 22 families in Babadogo area in Nairobi have been ordered to vacate their houses after their premises were declared unfit for occupation, while the owner of the building has also been ordered to demolish it with immediate effect. This follows a crackdown by the Nairobi County government on buildings with questionable construction standards. Sam Gituku with the details.
Barely 2 weeks after a building in Makongeni Estate here in the city collapsed, killing 7 people and injuring several others, the Nairobi County government has begun a process to get rid of other buildings with structural defects. This morning, a team from the city administration declared this building unfit for occupation, saying it was constructed without approval by the Nairobi City County and that it should be demolished immediately by the owner, with the tenants ordered to vacate by the end of today. The owner of the premises, Nancy Wangari, who constructed the building back in 1997, has admitted to not seeking the approval of the city planners, but pleaded for more time to salvage the little she can.
Kuna mtu alikuwa anaambiwa au akipima na akishibia watu. Sasa saa ile nilikuja hapa, nilikuwa mgeni. Nikamuita, akaniambia vile nitajenga, na akapima nyumba na akaplani nyumba. Wangenipatia hata ikiwa ni wiki moja, nipomoe hii, nipeleke mlango yangu tu, hiyo ni yangu. Ikiwa ni kitu kingine nimejenga vibaya, wapomoe. Lakini milango, at least I can save my nini.
Kufika nimesikia hii nyumba iko karibu kuanguka, eti tuhame saa hii. Sasa inabidi tutafuta manyumba tuhame, sasa hakuna njia nyingine. Hiyo unajua ni ngumu juu sasa unaweza pata nyumba mbali na watoto walikuwa wanasoma hapa karibu, tena itabidi uanze kutafuta shule nyingine.
The county officials later moved to a nearby premise which they say has defects that need to be corrected as it poses a hazard to occupants.
That premises actually, in case of heavy downfall, or if it is fully occupied, is actually leaning. So it's actually a disaster in waiting.
But the marking of unfit buildings is questionable, as no official from the city planning department was at the scene, with those steering the process claiming no knowledge of the technical details of the report, declaring the structures unsuitable for occupation.
Now that's an area that the city planning will deal with. Remember, I'm just a fire officer, okay, looking at the safety of people.
City authorities have in the past been criticized for allowing such structures to be put up by private developers and later rented out to tenants who are forced to incur huge losses when they are ordered out and the buildings demolished at short notice. Sam Gituku, Citizen at 1.
Let's shift our focus now to the agricultural sector, where a section of potato farmers and traders are faulting the government over the implementation of a law that requires them to package their produce in 50-kilogram bags. Traders at Wakulima Market in Nairobi say the enforcement of the 2 acts that limit the sale of potatoes in weights not exceeding 50 kilograms is wanting. Those upholding the law are lamenting huge losses as their produce is proving to be less attractive.
It's a chilly morning in the famous Wakulima Market, Nairobi's biggest wholesale produce market. And just as it has been for decades, the market is a beehive of activity, particularly in this section that is specifically reserved for the sale of potatoes, a crop that ranks third in consumption locally. But here, traders are an agitated lot.
Kama hii gunia yangu nimenunua 400 shambani. Hapa sokoni nauza 600. Wakati huo sijaeka gharama yoyote.
The situation, they say, results from government's move to limit the sale of potatoes in 50-kilogram bags as stipulated by Section 42 of the Agriculture, Food and Fisheries Act, along with Section 37 of the Crops Act. Even then, enforcement of the same law is proving to be difficult. Here at Wakulima Market, for instance, lack of standards is reigning supreme. While some people have decided to package their potatoes in the 50-kilogram recommended bags, others have actually continued to pack their produce in extended bags. They cite increased transport costs and shrinking margins.
Na hii viazi tunasajiwa 50 kwa State Council. Na ile kubwa tunasajiwa 50. Unaona inakuja the same kwa bei. Kwa hivyo sisi tuko na shida wale wanauza hizi dogo.
In an earlier interview with Citizen Television, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Felix Koskei said the law aims at protecting farmers.
The law also gave an opportunity to correct the exploitative actions that the brokers and the traders have been meting on farmers.
When you go to the farmer and you go with a 50 kg bag, they are refusing for you to dig their potatoes and pack them in a 50 kg bag. Because for them, you buy at a cheaper price. Also, when you come here, there is no market, you can't sell them.
Further compounding the situation is the lack of standards in the packaging materials. Readily available in the market are nylon bags, which farmers say aren't friendly to the produce. Their preference is sisal bags, which are rare to find. These challenges have now prompted Nyandarua Senator Muriuki Karue to table the Potato Produce and Market Bill that seeks to set standards in potato farming and trading, as well as cushion stakeholders from market dynamics.
There is a standard of the packaging, there is the standard of the type, there is a standard of the size, there is a standard packaging in terms of the material and the design of the potato. Then there is the disease control.
Traders now want the government to effectively enforce the law, or better still suspend it until such a time when the market will be ready for it. Patrick Igunza, Citizen, live at 1.
Lugari Member of Parliament Ayub Savula has implored the judiciary to demonstrate its independence from the executive when making a ruling on a case filed by the Court Coalition and Human Rights Watch challenging the constitutionality of the new security law. While speaking in Mautuma Lugari constituency during a homecoming party for Josephat Hoseloa, who's the area MCA, Savula said the court should not be arm-twisted by the executive in arriving at its decision, but determine the case based on constitutional provisions.
Na mimi nauliza koti, kesi iko kule, iamue constitutionally bila kujali powers ziko sawa sawa.
Mombasa Republican Council Chairman Omar Mohamudzi was today arraigned in court with 6 other suspects and charged with 3 counts, among them being a member of an unlawful group. The court was informed that on the 29th of December at Kombani area in Kwale County, the accused person was also found engaging in an unlawful assembly. Mohamudzi also faces charges, I beg your pardon, of being found with narcotic drugs. The 6 pleaded not guilty and were each released on a bond of 500,000 shillings with a surety of the same amount. That case will be heard on the 27th of January 2015.
Aina ya bangi ambayo ilikuwa na uzani wa gramu 29 Disemba mwaka huu katika eneo la Kombani, wa location Makuga sub-county.
Let me also bring you just some quick information we are receiving. And the Kajiado Central by-election to replace Joseph Nkaiseri, who of course was appointed the Cabinet Secretary of the Interior, will be held on the 16th of March 2015. Party nominations for the same are slated for January the 19th. I'll just repeat that news that we are receiving. The Kajiado Central by-election to replace Joseph Nkaiseri, who was appointed the Interior Cabinet Secretary, will now be held on March the 16th, 2015. We move on to other news now. And medical practitioners in both Kiambu and Murang'a counties are reportedly on a go-slow to push for better pay. And as Alex Njagi reports, the industrial action has paralyzed service delivery in health facilities across both counties.
A spot check at various health facilities in the 2 counties has revealed that medical officers are on a go-slow despite efforts by the county government to have them resume to work.
And they cited a few issues that we were able to respond within the county, and we were willing to discuss with them, but they refused nevertheless to come and discuss with the CC Health Kiambu County.
However, the Kiambu County government maintains that services are being rendered normally.
I wish to bring to the attention of the Kiambu residents that services are continuing in the hospitals, and our consultants are busy, and they are really working very hard to make services come to the level that is acceptable within the county.
This is despite a court order requiring medical officers to resume to work.
Nothing more. Nothing less.
Nothing more. And in Murang'a County, health workers employed 4 years ago under the Economic Stimulus Program have entered the second week of their strike after the county government failed to meet their demand of having all of them absorbed to permanent and pensionable terms.
The Murang'a County should make sure that they absorb each and every health worker if they want the essential services to be given as required.
And while addressing a press briefing in Eldoret District Hospital, the chairman of Kenya National Union of Nurses, John B., has said that the union will continue supporting the nurses as they seek to have their issues addressed.
We are all aware of what the Sarah Serem team did, that they issued a circular purporting to review allowances of public officers to their disadvantage. We want to warn SRC that if they want to create turmoil in this country, let them touch on our allowances, even a single cent.
The medical officers have several issues that they want addressed, and according to B, it is the high time these issues are resolved, as after 2015, the country will enter into election campaigns. Alex Njagi, Citizen Live at 1.
To international news now, Indonesian officials have confirmed that debris found in the Java Sea comes from the AirAsia Airbus A320 plane, which went missing on Sunday with 162 passengers on board. About 30 ships and 21 aircraft from Indonesia, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea and the United States are involved in the search.
Indonesian officials coming off a helicopter on Borneo Island said they saw several bodies floating in water near where the flight was last seen. Images on local television showed at least one bloated corpse. The bodies, swollen but intact, were later brought to the Indonesian Navy ship. National search and rescue officials said none of the corpses had life jackets on. A helicopter has been dispatched to pick up debris, which will be examined at a search and rescue coordination post on Belitung Island. Earlier, Indonesian officials said they were investigating reports of smoke seen rising from an island close to Belitung Island, one of the focal points of the search. Esther Kahumbi, Citizen Live at 1.